So hi class, today we're here with Benny and he is going to talk a little bit about personal statement with us. So I have a little questions for you, and the first one is, what is a personal statement in your opinion?
Sure. So I would say a personal statement is a very broad subject. I think it's essentially an opportunity to show whatever admissions committee or whatever thing you're applying for, a bit about your personal kind of history, your past, your motivations, why you think this program is good for you, why you've decided to apply to this program, and why you think it would be a good fit. It's also an opportunity to kind of show your story in kind of ways that aren't represented in other parts of your application, right? So perhaps you might have had an interesting selection of coursework that you want to highlight, or you have certain interesting research experiences that you also want to highlight. And, you know, a personal statement provides an opportunity for you to kind of bring a little personality into your application.
Okay, so you said that a personal statement is a very broad thing. So how long time do you normally spend working on a personal statement?
Sure. I think a lot of that really depends on how much I personally care about the thing I'm applying to. But I've spent anywhere up to, a few days to several months working on a personal statement for, more serious things, perhaps applications to graduate school. This Fulbright scholarship, for example, I spent maybe 2 months working with advisors, getting multiple opinions from various people that I respect, to revise a personal statement that was maybe 500 words long, right? So, and whereas there are other personal statements that I've submitted with practically minimal revisions of, just I wrote it, edited it for grammar and clarity, and then submitted it. So it really depends on how much you care and how much you want to put into it. Obviously, there's kind of there's a relationship between time spent versus improvement, and there will be a point where you'll be spending more and more time, and you won't necessarily be feeling that your work is getting better. And at that point, you might want to kind of refocus your attention on other parts of the application.
So can you tell me something that any personal statement must have?
Given that a personal statement is, I think, a really broad thing, I wouldn't say there's anything that a personal statement must have beyond whatever the application instructions say, right? If the application instructions say include XYZ or discuss XYZ in your personal statement, you better discuss those topics. But kind of more broadly speaking, I would definitely say your motivations for pursuing this course of study is probably one of the biggest things, and why you're qualified to pursue whatever you're applying for.
Okay, and last but not least, can you tell me something that I should avoid while writing a personal statement?
Sure. So this isn't necessarily a hard rule. There are some cases in which it is appropriate to do this, but I wouldn't use, say, a personal statement to kind of explain any weaknesses in the application. So for example, say you might have done poorly in a couple courses that don't necessarily reflect your overall ability. Maybe, something was going wrong during the time you were taking those courses. I wouldn't necessarily use the space of the personal statement to try and address, during this part of this, my second year in college, I was suffering from this problem, and that's why I had some lackluster performance during that time. Usually in applications that require personal statements, there'll be like a separate section for you to kind of address anything else in the application, and I would use that space to address, say, weaknesses as opposed to a personal statement.
Okay, so I just want to thank you for sharing your experiences with us today, and that's it.